Japan just invalidated the Pokemon Palworld patent. Nintendo has lost. This is breaking news. I am absolutely shocked. Guys, what are going to be the consequences of Nintendo's patent against Palworld now being invalidated, not just in Japan, but around the globe? What does that mean for Nintendo and society going forward? Watch it in the video to have all of these questions answered. Today's video comes from Fritanga, or Fritada, as we lovably call him. Go and check him out. His channel will be linked in the description of the video. Don't forget to follow us over on Rumble. Our Rumble is also linked in the description of the video. And guys, don't let them tell you that you will own nothing, and be happy. Hard times are here. Jobs are disappearing fast, and if you lose yours today, you could be homeless in a few months or even a few weeks, but it doesn't have to be that way. Check out Angry's Creator Academy. There it is on the screen. Angry's Creator Academy, and learn how to build your own online business using YouTube to grow it, and get the free creator blueprint when you sign up. The link's in the description below. Go check it out now. Like, share, and subscribe to the video. Like, share, and subscribe to help push us out into the YouTube algorithm. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
Fritada!
Yes, 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 yes.
Watch closely as I apply treatment to the first child. Sit down and study!
Yes, yes! It's finally happened! Nintendo loses! Game Freak takes the L! The biggest L of the year! Let's go! I am ecstatic to bring this news to you. Seriously, I'm so ecstatic, I didn't even bother to edit much today. I just want to announce this publicly to all of you. It's official. After spending millions upon millions of dollars in court and constantly harassing Pocket Pair and trying to play dirty with patenting laws, Game Freak has lost the battle to Pocket Pair. This news is literally fresh out of the oven for you, and I am the first to report on it, which is why you're gonna smash that sub button right there, you know? Get this channel to 120K. You can always expect Daddy Frit to be in your feed with the latest news and the type of news that you want to hear. None of this, oh my.
And, you know, I do have to blame Fritada. It's Fritanga, but Fritada, because, you know, for forcing me to go and do my job. I had just finished putting a video together for you guys, you ungratefuls. And, you know, not all of you, some of you value it, but some of you are ungrateful. And I was getting ready to drop that video, and then I saw this pop up in my feed that, yeah, Nintendo lost the lawsuit. And, well, not the lawsuit yet. They're heading in the trajectory of losing it. But yeah, this is going to be very damaging, because there are cases in Japan right now. And the fact that Japan has basically said, the Japanese government, the Japanese patent office has said that, yeah, their patent is invalid. That now you have to wonder, so if your patent is invalid, how are you going to continue the case? My guess is that the case will have to be thrown out. So yeah, this actually comes from Windows Central. Nintendo's patent relevant to Palworld case has been rejected by Japan's office for lacking originality. What happens next? So I just wanted you guys to see that.
Evolution. Now, you want the dirty details behind Nintendo's suffering, and I'm gonna give it to you. So, Nintendo's anti-Palworld patent application has been rejected in Japan, which is, of course, where the lawsuit's even taking place. This is major news. I cannot stress how important this is. We have been speculating for months the outcome of how this would go down, and as of today, we now know what the outcome is. So let's just dive right into it. I want all the details, all of it. One of Nintendo's anti-Palworld monster capture patent applications has been rejected by the Japanese patent office as it lacked an inventive step. See, I knew it. When I was talking to Florian Moeller and interviewing him, since he is a patent expert with over a decade of experience on these matters, and I'll leave a link to our interview down below, this was his prediction, that it would be rejected just due to how absurd the request by Game Freak and the Pokemon Company was. These guys legitimately believed they invented mounting,
Now, let me make this very very clear. This is likely not the end when it comes to Nintendo and their foolery. They're likely trying to find something else, some other method of BSing us all. They're sneaky. So this is not over by a long shot. But as you can see, Nintendo's ongoing legal campaign against Palworld developer Pocket Pair has hit another roadblock. A key patent in Nintendo's monster capture family, one that sits right between two patents currently being asserted in the Tokyo District Court, has been rejected by the Japan Patent Office. The decision cites a lack of inventive steps of the cites a lack of inventive step, pointing directly to older games such as Ark, Monster Hunter 4, Craftopia, Kantai Collection, and Pokemon Go itself as examples of prior artwork. Holy cow. They even referenced Pokemon Go. For Xbox players following this saga, and especially fans who jumped into Palworld on Xbox Game Pass, this new twist adds even more weight to Pocket Pier's defense. It reinforces the argument that Palworld isn't necessarily copying Nintendo, but rather is inspired by and builds upon decades of established game mechanics. This is insane stuff. The latest report from Games Fray breaks down the significance of this patent rejection in relation to the Pocket Pair case. If you look at the Office JPO patent family chart, you can see how interconnected these filings are. The newly rejected 2024-031879 application descends from Nintendo's 2023 filing, which which has already been granted and is one of the patents cited in Nintendo's lawsuit against Pocket Pair. Meanwhile, patent 2024 123560 branches off another granted patent also being used in court. So what does this all mean? That means this isn't some irrelevant side filing. It's literally sandwiched between two patents central to the litigation. If the JPO finds that one member of the patent family lacks originality, it raises question about the others. Yeah, guys, this is absolutely massive. Again, Nintendo is not going to take this laying down. They basically patented recently the process of summoning monsters in the US, where it's now essentially illegal to to have a game about summoning monsters, or you're infringing on Nintendo's patents in the US. First, the patent office in the US rejected it, and then Nintendo resubmitted it again, and it was broader, it was more narrow, and they were able to get it accepted. So basically, now they're basically the only ones who can have a game that allows you to summon anything, not even just monsters, anything. Any act of summoning is now technically illegal and owned by Nintendo in the US. So this is the same BS that they were pulling in Japan. In Japan, they were actually if throwing a ball and capturing a monster using a ball. That's the patent in Japan. They're crazy, guys. They are so insane. And they likely have, I mean, the thing is about arrogance. When you get to this point where you've built a system where you build a system used to exploit others and take advantage of others, very little by little there can be cracks in your armor can appear, and a lot of that happens as a result of arrogance. So Nintendo, so this is probably one of the cracks, but of course Nintendo is not going to stop. They likely have already planned ahead for this, and there's probably some BS that they're looking at, some obscure law that they're probably going to, or legal maneuver they're probably going to try to exploit to further continue their litigation against Pocket Pair. They're not going to stop here. All right, they're not going to stop here. They're going to keep on going because they are bullies. They are 100% bullies. They are 100%, people who are trying to prevent others from making money, from making games centered around anything that Nintendo does not like. Don't forget that Mario, the first Mario, before he was called Super Mario or Mario from Mario Brothers, his name was Jumpman because he would jump on objects. Jumpman. So if Nintendo could patent jumping in a game, they would literally patent jumping in a game. You have to understand just who this company actually is. That's their personality. That's their characteristics. Those are their qualities. They want to own everything, control everything. They want to basically be the Disney of gaming, and they're trying to spread even further. If they can begin patenting movies, like things that appear in movies, like the way that, if they can patent display technology, they absolutely would. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I kind of tell you guys have to understand this is a nasty world, and hard times are here, jobs are disappearing fast, and if you lose yours, you can end up in a TTC, homeless, living in a TTC on the street, or living in a TTC tent city, Tyrone tent city, where Tyrone is the king of tent city and he rules tent city with an iron fist. He's not playing games. When he's hungry, he's going to eat. When he's thirsty, he's going to drink. When he wants some loving, he's going to get some loving, because Tyrone is the king of tent city, and he's not playing games, and he's not going to take nonsense in his house. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. You can check out Angry's Creator Academy and learn how to build your own online business using YouTube to grow it, and get the free creator blueprint when you sign up. The link is in the description below, and go check it out now. Some of the different courses and blueprints that are available, you can see on the screen, are like the YouTube beginners channel creation blueprint. You can also check, that's like one of the best ones to get started, jump right in. Okay, the solo entrepreneur blueprint, how to use use YouTube to build your business empire, how to stay safe on YouTube, so overcoming copyright issues, channel strikes, the legal aspect, that's so vital. The ultimate low cost. We also have the ultimate low cost YouTube creator toolkit. We have another one, how to monetize your YouTube channel with a small audience. Think about 500 people. If you have 500 subscribers, that's like 500 people in a room that you can share your ideas with, and also what products and services you offer to help improve their lives. The secrets top YouTube creators use to get massive views and retention, so much more, guys. So go and check that out. It's linked in the description of the video. But this is massive what's happening to Nintendo here. They deserve every single bit of it, because they are a terrible company and their fans are just terrible people. It's a cult. It's a cult. It just does not play around. It's a cult.
Capturing creatures. It invented summoning. It was ridiculous, which is saying a lot, because in the United States, they did approve for a patent. But in Japan, their home turf, they were denied, which says a lot about us, doesn't it? For those unaware, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have been battling Pocket Pair, the publisher of Palworld, in a patent infringement lawsuit for some time now. Yeah. Most recently, we had heard a patent expert say that Nintendo is so wrong it hurts. They're referring to Florian Muller, regarding mods not being counted as prior art. Now, prior art is the main reason why Nintendo's patent application was rejected in Japan. According to a report by GamesFray, Nintendo's rejected patent application 2024-031879 was a subclaim of one of the anti-Palworld monster capture patents and a parent of another. It was dismissed for lack of inventive step, meaning it did not involve an innovative idea that was not an obvious combination of two or more pre-existing concepts. Several games were cited as prior art references. My God. They got rejected heavier than Alyssa Mercante got rejected by Hassan Biker. Look at that. The Japanese Patent Office understands just how ridiculous it is. And yeah, maybe it took them far too long to come to that conclusion, but as it was explained to me by Florian Muller, these things go through an entire process that is so complicated, so detailed, and in such order that sometimes you don't see an outcome for nearly a decade. But here, this happened relatively fast, since it was about, I think a year ago, and even as early as this year, that Nintendo was trying to patent new things. They even outright changed the description of their patent mid-lawsuit to try and appeal to the Japanese Patent Office and the US one. So those fuckers were caught red-handed, and they were denied accordingly. Which means, for once, the system actually did what it was supposed to. Would you look at that? Isn't that impressive? Isn't that amazing? The Patent Office determined through a third-party submission of prior art that this step existed before Nintendo's December 2021 priority date, with games such as Studio Wildcard's Ark, Capcom Monster Hunter 4, Pocket Pair's Craftopia, Kentai Collection, and Pokemon Go. They used Pokemon! They literally cited Pokemon! They used Pokemon against Pokemon. Oh my god! However, the refusal was non-final, meaning Nintendo can either abandon this patent or file a new patent application with amended claims. Suck a dick. You lost, big boy. When the Japanese patent office is literally using Pokemon Go, one of your own.
They will likely file, like I said, they will likely file a new patent. This is how they operate. They will likely do a Hail Mary pass and try to file something new, because the goal of Nintendo is just to keep litigation going forever. This is just a part of their strategy. Even if they know it will fail, they're just going to file something else and try to get through on a technicality. So, for example, they might file something that's a bit even more narrow. Again, this is how they operate. This is how they operate, and they keep the process going that way, because the goal is to get Pocket Pair and other developers to give up, and it's also to ensure that future developers don't try to make games like Pokemon, or don't try to make games with any kind of mechanic that they don't want you to make. Don't make games where you try to capture monsters with objects or capture anything with an object. Don't make games where you're summoning anything or anything whatsoever. Don't make games where you're using monsters to glide. Yes, to glide. That's something that Pocket Pair actually had to remove from their game, because you were able to use your pals to glide, and Nintendo said that's infringement. So now you can only use a glider, like something out of Breath of the Wild, to glide on. But you can, and I'm shocked they didn't go after that, but you cannot use your pals to glide on anymore. You cannot use a monster to fly you around anymore, to glide around anymore. That's how petty Nintendo is. That's how dangerous their attitude is when it comes to controlling video games and holding on to their monopoly. And you might say that monopoly angry. What are you talking about? Well, think about this very carefully. Nintendo as a company is worth something like $100 million. But Pokemon is worth roughly the value of Nintendo, or even more than Nintendo itself. Yes, the IP Pokemon in and of itself is really actually more valuable than Nintendo, and Nintendo knows it, which is the reason why they're doing everything and anything to prevent anyone from creating any IPs that are too similar to Pokemon, because that's their gravy train. It's not Mario. It's not Peaches. It's not Luigi. It's not Zelda. It's not Metroid. Their bread and butter is Pokemon. Pokemon cards in and of themselves are a massive industry. Nintendo knows it, and they will do anything and everything to maintain their monopoly.
Games to prove that you're bullshitting them. You've lost. Not only that, but it goes to show you that Pocket Pair was right on the money in their original rebuttal against the Pokemon Company. Originally, these were the games they also cited in their counterclaim. And the Pokemon fanboys, the diehard ones, were claiming Pocket Pair was the desperate one, making stupid claims, and that none of this would hold up, and the Pokemon Company would have their way. It would seem maybe Bucky from Pocket Pair isn't as stupid as you guys think. They were onto it. They knew that this would hold up, and it did. If you are wondering what these claims are, read more about the blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, we don't need to read those other claims. I mean, we don't need more than just the basic info here. Pokemon lost. Nintendo lost. $1 billion richest intellectual property on the planet just got their ass handed to them by an upcoming indie studio with one of the most successful record-breaking games on fucking Steam. This is easily one of the greatest underdog stories ever. And if you don't think so, you're just simply a fucking fanboy. You lost, bitches. Your ass didn't get taken to court. You went there yourself, and the patent office asked you, point me in the direction you would like for us to kick you out of here. Amazing, though. Now, my question is, how did they use Pokemon Go, their own intellectual property, against them? But of course, this is non-final, meaning, like what said here in the article, that Nintendo is still free to try and pursue this further. And knowing Nintendo, they probably will. They are petty, they are spiteful, And most importantly, they are greedy. There is no end to Nintendo's funding for lawyers and lawsuits, which is hilarious because their games are made practically on zero budgets. Half the reason your Nintendo games look 10 years outdated is because they just simply don't want to invest their money and time and resources into building better things for you. Look at what they wasted their time doing instead. How is that acceptable for you as a diehard fan of this company? I don't understand. They just got their asses handed to them legally. Palworld was never in the wrong, and every single Nintendo diehard that defended them, that stood up for them. Think about those people. Corporate fanboys who don't actually give a shit about gaming outside of the one brand that they play on. They are a plague to our hobby. They are the problem.
Amen. Amen, guys. Japan just invalidated the Pokemon Palworld patent. Nintendo lost. They can go to hell along with their fanboys. And of course, they're probably going to appeal this. But you know, let's take the celebration and enjoy right now as Nintendo has to take the L along with those evil fanboys of theirs. Let me know what you guys think. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.